In this video, we're going to go over what happens to your body during starvation. So normally in day-to-day eating, our nutrients would be broken down to their basic parts absorbed by the intestines. Your proteins would be broken down to amino acids, polysaccharides, monomers. Fatty acids would be packaged into triacylglycerols and sent in chylomicrons. So your body actually doesn't store that much energy in the form of carbohydrates. You have roughly less than a day. And that's because carbohydrates have a lot of oxygens on them, so they attract a lot of water, and it's a lot of weight, so we don't want to weigh ourselves down with storing all that glycogen. And after an overnight fast, so sleeping and waking up, you have increased levels of glucagon and you have a decreased levels of insulin in your body. So that actually is promoting fatty acids from leaving your adipose tissue and going out into your body to provide energy. Also, since we're low in glucose after a fast, after an overnight fast, your muscles are going to switch to start getting their energy to fatty acids rather than glucose, because we want that glucose to be used by your brain. Your brain's more important than your muscles, so your muscles will say, hey brain, we got limited glucose, you get the glucose, I will get these fatty acids from the adipose tissue. Now, if your fast goes on for many days, what will happen is that all the glycogen storage in your liver will be depleted. And so here's just after 40 hours, so not even 2 days, you can see your glycogen in your liver starts at, average 350 or so millimolar. So after 2 days, you're about 50 millimolar. So you lost a bunch of your glycogen just in the span of 2 days of not eating. And as we talked about, your brain needs this glucose. So what's going to happen is that you're going to start ramping up gluconeogenesis. You're going to have cyclic AMP around. That's going to say low energy. Glucagon's going to be flooding your system saying low glucose. Start making glucose. And so 96% of the glucose coming out of your liver after 40 hours is due to gluconeogenesis. It's no longer from our glycogen storages. Your kidneys, as we talked about in a previous video, can also start doing gluconeogenesis, and so after this prolonged fast, it's going to kick into doing gluconeogenesis as well. And unfortunately, animals cannot take fatty acids and directly make glucose from them. What happens is that we need to synthesize the glucose from glycerol when we break the triacylglycerols down. And we can also get that glucose from proteins from your muscles. So that's why if you're not well fed, your body will start breaking down your muscles, the proteins in your muscles, to get that glucose because your brain needs it. Now, after many days of starvation, what will happen is that your body is start going to increase the amount of ketone bodies that you have from your fats, and your brain will start switching over to mainly use ketone bodies by making new enzymes that can use these, or rather upregulating the enzymes that can use ketone bodies as fuel. So if we just look at it, 3-day fast, only about 1/3 of the energy of your brain is used is met by ketone bodies. 40-day fast, you're at 70%, which makes sense because if you're not eating, you're not getting new glucose stores, so your brain's going to want to use what you can in the form of fat in ketone bodies. Also, over this prolonged fast, you're going to stop breaking down your muscles for glucose, which is a good safety mechanism, because if you keep breaking down your muscles, you won't be able to move, you won't be able to do anything, and then for sure you're not going to get food. So you're only going to go roughly 25% of the rate you were going. And how long you can fast depends on how much fat you have, because that's what you're breaking down for energy. And if you're highly obese, you can actually survive a year or more without eating. And the record is held by Angus Barbary or Barbary. In 1962, he weighed 456 pounds. He went on a 382-day fast, and during that fast, he had water, tea, coffee, and vitamins supervised by a hospital, and he lost 180 pounds. So he went over a year without eating because all the energy came from his adipose tissue. And as we talked about, this lower eating, lower calorie intake is linked, at least to in mice, to a longer lifespan, because the less calories you eat, the less reactive oxygen species that you're making, because you're not doing oxidative phosphorylation as much. If you're not making reactive oxygen species, you're not harming your proteins, you're not harming your mitochondria, you're not harming your DNA. And so that is currently linked, like I said, in mice to a longer lifespan. And that's it for this video. I will see you in the next one.